Hey, it's Double Crown here, and today I'm going to talk about the holographic universe. So I've been trying to make this video for a while now and having technical problems getting this video down. So I've got this image here, and this new theory that's come out that the universe or the galaxy or whatever is a hologram, and basically all of the reality that we are experiencing is holographic. That's the new theory, and if you look at this image here, it kind of looks like a hologram. You've got something in the middle there kind of projecting this image out. I don't know what this is, a nebula, a galaxy, whatever it is, an exploding star. It's not clear, but it kind of looks holographic. And you'll see around the edge here a nice kind of ring here of dark matter or whatever, which keeps the holographic image contained within inside of it. So this kind of looks holographic to me, and that's the idea, that's the new theory, that the universe and the galaxy is a hologram. So how did this theory come about? Well, it stems from some experiments that were done a while ago, which kind of show that matter is not as solid as we first thought it was. For example, you've got the double slit experiment here, where you fire a bunch of electrons, which are thought to be particles. So you'd expect them to behave like particles, and they pass through this double slit here, and they hit this optical screen at the back, and basically you'd expect a mess of electrons at the back here. But as you can see, you get a nice kind of a pattern here. You get an interference pattern here, and you see there's no electrons here, there's no electrons here, etc. You get these gaps, you get this nice interference pattern. So what's happening is the electrons are being diffracted here out of these slits, and they're interfering with each other. They're actually behaving like waves, and that would, that kind of suits this holographic theory that matter, even electrons, even neutrons, protons, etc., any kind of matter, any kind of particle is actually just a waveform. So what is a hologram? So if we move on to the next image here, this kind of illustrates exactly how we create a hologram in the world that we live in. So we have a laser here, which fires a beam of light, a single beam of light, but then you have a beam splitter which splits this beam of light into two. So one beam goes this way and another beam goes this way. Now the beam going this way goes straight onto this recording medium. Now this recording medium is what is going to contain, or is what is going to hold, the holographic image. So you've got a beam of light going straight to the recording medium, and the other beam of light goes through a lens or whatever, hits your object, and this is what you want to record, and the object reflects some of that light back onto the recording medium, creating an interference pattern, and that is what gives you your holographic image. So if we move on to the next slide, now this holographic universe theory brings us onto an aspect of physics, which is the unified theory of everything, and that is this notion of trying to combine Einstein's theory of relativity and quantum mechanics and quantum physics together, and those two theories are proven to be quite incompatible. But using this holographic universe principle, we've got this new concept of quantum gravity. And if you look at this picture here, now this is essentially the kind of 3D world that we live in. You've got a picture there of the Earth, and you can imagine this space-time continuum there, which is kind of being bent and being curved around this 3D object, and this bending and curving creates the illusion of gravity. So you have this gravitational force, but of course there's no explanation for that in the quantum world. So how can we marry up those two things, quantum physics and the theories of relativity, general relativity and gravitation? So now, for example, if you were to imagine this, now we're going to call this an ether, this grid here, we'll call this the ether. Now, if you imagine that was just a flat surface, there was no indentation there, this was just a flat surface, then basically the Earth, on this flat surface, the Earth would actually be flat, which might explain why we're seeing all this, all these videos about why the Earth is actually flat and not round, because the Earth, of course, you know, in this theory, the Earth is holographic, so it's not even real. And a hologram is really something, is an image, a 3D kind of image, but it's being stored on a 2D medium, and we're trying to create a 2D medium out of this ether. So if we have this 2D medium of this ether, then the Earth, of course, would be flat on this. But of course, a circle contains all the information that you need to create a sphere. You know, you've got the radius, etc. So you've got all the information there you need to create a 3D image. So the 3D world that we see around us could actually be stored on a 2D medium somewhere. And everything that we see, the reality, the 3D reality that we're seeing, might be actually being played out on a 2D surface somewhere. So when people say that the Earth is flat, well, they could in fact be correct. And this, of course, then leads on to this theory of quantum gravity, because once you expand the Earth, once you inflate the Earth into a 3D ball, if it was just a flat 2D disk circle, and then you inflate it into 3D, it bends this space-time curvature, creating the gravitation. So again, gravitation can be stored on a 2D surface, and gravity as well. It's now thought that gravity, which seems to operate over vast distances, and you know, the Earth is revolving around the sun is revolving around the galaxy, a black hole or whatever. Gravitation seems to operate over these vast distances, over millions and millions of light years. And similarly, we've got this concept of quantum entanglements in quantum physics, which again can operate over vast distances. Two particles that are quantum entangled together. You know, if you measure one, you instantly know what the other one is doing. So if you measure the spin on one, you know what the spin of the other one is. If you measure the charge on one, you instantly know what the charge of the other one is. And it, you know, that information, it doesn't matter how far apart those particles are. That information is instantaneously available. So effectively, the particles are communicating to each other faster than the speed of light, it would seem. So quantum entanglement and quantum gravity may well be kind of tied together in this theory of the holographic universe. And quantum entanglement on a 2D surface might be the explanation for gravity in a 3D holographic realm. So, moving on to my next slide, we have well, what does all this mean? The holographic world, the holographic universe. What does that mean for us? Well, if it's true that the world is actually holographic, then this has a lot of implications in terms of, for example, healing. because of course if we are just a hologram, then any kind of illness or whatever we suffer, or any kind of physical damage the body takes, of course it's only affecting the hologram. It's not actually affecting the consciousness behind that hologram. So if you like, you're an avatar. So if the avatar goes wrong, that doesn't affect the consciousness that's operating the avatar. And similarly, avatars, etc., can be reset. So this may lead to different kinds of healing. For example, if you have an avatar and there's a glitch and your avatar gets messed up, then you can always shut down the computer and reset it, and your avatar comes back to normal again. Similarly, the body, when you go to sleep, this might be a form of resetting, and it might be the most powerful way to heal the body. So sleeping potentially is kind of a reset for your avatar. And of course, when you wake up, it's a brand new day. You've recharged your cells, you've recharged your avatar, your hologram, and you've got more energy. So there's all sorts of implications about, if we are actually holograms, what kind of effect does this have on medication? For example, the food that you eat would be holographic. The DNA that you are constructed of, or the blueprint, is holographic. And nature, the trees around you, are holographic. So there's all sorts of implications there about what this means. But I'll let you do your own studies on that. And thanks for listening, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.